Hello, welcome to the Learn English with Hamza. Today, we are going to practice English speaking with 3 short stories. The Wise Old Owl. Once upon a time, there was an old owl who lived in a big oak tree. This owl was very wise and always listened carefully to everything around him. Every day, the owl would hear many things. He heard the little birds singing and the wind blowing through the trees. He listened to the children playing and the adults talking about their lives. The owl noticed that the less he spoke, the more he heard. He saw that people often talked without thinking and made mistakes because of this. The owl understood that listening more and speaking less made him wiser. One day, a young bird flew to the owl and asked, "Old owl, how can I become as wise as you?" The old owl replied, "It is simple. Listen more, speak less, learn from others, and think before you talk." The young bird took the owl's advice to heart. He started to listen more carefully and think before he spoke. Over time, he became known as the wisest bird in the forest, just like the old owl. The young bird took the owl's advice to heart. He started to listen more carefully and think before he spoke. Over time, he became known as the wisest bird in the forest, just like the old owl. Key lesson: listening. Listening more and speaking less can help you learn and understand more. Think before you speak. The Boy and the Starfish. Once upon a time, there was a boy who loved to visit the beach. One day, after a big storm, he went for a walk along the shore. The storm had washed up thousands of starfish onto the beach. As he walked, he saw a man throwing starfish back into the ocean. The boy watched him for a while, then approached and asked, "Why are you throwing starfish back into the ocean?" As he walked, he saw a man throwing starfish back into the ocean. The boy watched him for a while, then approached and asked, "Why are you throwing starfish back into the ocean?" The man replied, "If they don't get back into the water, they will die." The boy looked around at the thousands of starfish on the beach and said, "But there are so many. How can you make a difference?" The man picked up another starfish and threw it into the ocean. He smiled at the boy and said, "I made a difference to that one." Key lesson: every small action counts. Even if you can't help everyone, helping even one person or making a small positive impact is valuable. I hope you enjoyed this story. The Two Frogs and the Cream. Once upon a time, 2 frogs fell into a deep cream bowl. They tried to leap out, but the sides were too slippery and they kept sliding back. After several attempts, one of the frogs said, "I can't do it. It's hopeless." He gave up and soon drowned in the cream. The other frog was more determined. I'm not giving up, he said to himself. He continued, kicking his legs and paddling as hard as he could. Hours passed, and he was still paddling, exhausted but persistent. Suddenly, he felt something solid beneath him. His paddling had churned the cream into butter, giving him the footing he needed to jump out of the bowl and to safety. Key lessons: persistence pays off. No matter how tough the situation, keep trying. Your continuous effort can turn the tide in your favor. Never give up. The moment you decide to quit, you lose the chance of succeeding. Keep pushing forward even when it seems impossible. I hope you enjoyed